me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine. Give me that green light. Give me that green light, Maine.
This episode of Greenlight Maine is brought to you by MTI, the Maine Technology Institute, investing in innovation for a prosperous Maine.
Good morning, I'm Julene Gervais. Welcome to Season 5 of Greenlight Maine, the show where everyone is a winner, because even if you don't win the prize money, the exposure the companies gain is invaluable. To date, more than $15 million has been invested in companies since they appeared on the show, and that's just what we know of. Today we have a great lineup. Lana Plantae Yarns and Erin Flett will pitch off. And later, our Sunday morning conversation gives us an inside look on what's happening with innovation in Maine. But first, let's meet our business leaders from around the state that are serving as today's judges. Welcome back, Brian Whitney. It's so good to see you. Tell us what you do at MTI.
Thanks, Julene. It's my pleasure to be here. I'm the president of the Maine Technology Institute, and MTI was created to help catalyze investments in innovation and research and development in the state of Maine.
Awesome. And welcome for the first time to the Greenlight Maine set, Tom Morgan.
Well, thank you very much for having me. I'm the founder of Breakthrough Sales Solutions, and I help businesses throughout the state of Maine build sales process, sales structure, and the right sales team to deliver breakthrough sales results.
Awesome. And finally, welcome Kent Peterson. Tell us about what you do.
Good morning. I'm the president and CEO of a company in Scarborough, Maine. We manufacture electronic instrumentation.
Awesome. We're so happy to have you all. We're going to talk to you in just a few minutes, but first it's time to introduce our first company. It's Lana Plantae Yarns. Welcome, Marcia MacDonald. And you were the finalist for 2 years in a row for Martha Stewart's American Made competition, right?
That's correct, yes.
That is a huge deal. So thousands of people enter that, right?
Yes, yeah. Different categories in the competition for different products, but American made, handmade goods.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to hear all about this. This is absolutely beautiful, all these colors.
Thank you.
So whenever you're ready, look right at the judges. So
Okay.
Take it away.
Hello, my name is Marcia MacDonald, and for several years, my husband and I and our children have been living on a farm in Buxton. I never imagined I'd have a farm. I moved there from Portland when my daughter was small, and there was a barn, so we had to put something in it, and I ended up getting alpacas and sheep. I didn't want to have any animals that I had to slaughter. That wasn't what I could do. So it went from there, and prior to moving to the farm, I had been a landscape gardener, so I had plant knowledge. So once I started learning about the wool, because I had these animals now, I had to know what to do with their fibers. It, became apparent very quickly that I was going to use plants to dye my wool. So it just kind of progressed from there. There's a steep learning curve because I knew nothing about wool at all. I did not know how to knit. So it really had to start right at the beginning. And the more you learn, the more you want to know. And there's hundreds of breeds of sheep with hundreds of wool types. It's not just you learn one thing and you know all there is to know. So it's been a process. I just started, figuring out how to dye my wool with the plants. I grow also on my farm a dye garden. I harvest plant material that occurs naturally, goldenrod, sumac. There's a lot of things that grow in Maine that we can use. Not all plants are good for dyeing. The learning curve on the dye process was very steep too. It's prior to the 1860s, every piece of clothing that was made was dyed naturally. In the 1860s, synthetic dyes were discovered. So it changed, the Industrial Revolution and, mass processing of clothing has definitely changed to the point where we're in a crisis because of climate change with our throwaway clothing culture. So part of what matters to me and what I really care about is promoting what we can grow in our own regional textile system that is local, that is going to last. If someone makes something hand makes something out of my yarn, they can pass it down to their grandchildren. It's not clothing that gets thrown away. It's clothing that gets cherished and lasts. So I think that's important, going forward. As the climate does keep changing, we know the Gulf of Maine is warming faster than anywhere else in the world. It matters. So I have worked really hard on learning how to make very bright, bold colors. And I've recently been working on sort of scaling up my process so that I can do more wholesale accounts.
Nice job. What would you do with the prize money?
I would invest in scaling up. I would invest in processing my wool in much larger amounts. To get my costs down. I would put in a greenhouse to grow more dye plants and offer them to other people and do workshops throughout the year and
Brian.
That was great, Marcia. I love the display, by the way.
Thank you.
It looks really beautiful. How are you acquiring customers? I'm curious.
I travel and do shows all over. I've gone, as far as Maryland, I would say. There is a huge and growing, very active knitting culture. It, was gone for a long time, but especially younger people are doing handwork again in a really big way, but also because they're combating the climate change and the textiles that everybody just throws their clothes away after 3 months.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Tom, I just want to make sure the judges all get a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. The colors are very, it screams autumn in Maine, so very nice. Question on direct to consumer. What are you doing as far as targeting consumers, and do you have a website? And how are you selling to get that consumer demand for people who really care about sustainable small farm source?
I do use social media. I have a very active Instagram account and Facebook. I am right now in the process of redoing my website, and I'm incorporating e-commerce on there. Currently, I'm on Etsy, but I'm shifting that all.
Kent.
Very educational, very informative. Thank you very much, Marcia. I'm curious as to how you assess your competition, and when you go to these shows or go on social media, who do you see as your primary competition?
We need a quick answer, too.
My primary competition is other small farmers, but we're all sort of in it together, I think, because we're all sort of committed to the same values. So if someone sells something, it means I have a chance to sell something too, that if everybody's buying local wool, it's good for everybody.
That's a nice camaraderie. Well, nice job with your pitch. We need to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're talking to MTI, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
Whether you're a small business or a big business, whether you're cutting edge or looking at a traditional industry in a whole new way, whether you're on the coast, in the city, a small town, wherever. If you're an organization here in Maine, if you want to innovate, and if you want to grow, we want to support you. We're the Maine Technology Institute.
At Sutherland Weston, it's not just about being persuasive, it's about being prepared. Too many agencies get excited about how to gain attention, but not what happens next. We know what happens next is really the important part. That's why we've had 15 years of continuous growth. As a responsive, problem-solving, creative partner, one who's not afraid of accountability, responsibility, or what happens next. Looking for a creative, strategic partner? Let's talk.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our Sunday morning conversation is with Maine Technology Institute, and welcome back, Brian Whitney. So good to see you.
Thank you.
We're going to talk about all the great things happening in Maine. But first, for some of our folks at home that might not be familiar with MTI, can you just give us like a brief summary of what it is?
Sure. Yeah, MTI's core mission is to help diversify and grow Maine's economy by encouraging, promoting, stimulating, and supporting innovation and its transformation into new products, new processes, new companies, and ultimately leading to the creation of quality jobs for Mainers.
Awesome. We have had so many startups come through here and say how helpful MTI has been to them. So can you just kind of give us like a couple of things of like the process, like how would folks at home who either are starting a company or might know somebody, what do they do?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we actually launched a brand new approach to funding last year, last August, and now we've got a really tailored approach to funding. It's really customer focused. We start by asking people to go to our website, mainetechnology.org. Up in the right-hand corner is a pull-down tab that says Ready to Start. You click on that, you put in some basic information. That really starts our process. One of our investment officers will follow up with the client, and then we'll start by taking them through an investment readiness assessment to kind of find out how advanced they are, how sophisticated their innovation is. And that tool also kind of helps us start a discussion with them about, really where they're at and where they're going.
Nice. And you guys have a special day coming up. It is your 20th anniversary.
We do, yes. MTI was created by the Maine legislature in 1999. We're a publicly funded private nonprofit. And we're going to take an occasion to celebrate this year. On October 7th, we're going to be having a 20th anniversary event, and we're looking forward to really celebrating a lot of the achievements of our portfolio companies.
Congratulations on
thank
that.
you.
Yeah, moving Maine forward for sure.
Thank you very much.
How about some advice for today's contestants?
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a stressful time for entrepreneurs to get up and pitch in front of strangers, and especially in front of a studio audience. So I guess just try to take a deep breath, relax, and be yourself as much as possible.
It's good advice. Do you get any free time at all? I know you are so busy.
Yeah, we do. MTI's got an incredible team, so obviously I'm not doing all this stuff by myself.
You do have a
There's
great
a team
yeah.
out there supporting me and all the entrepreneurs in the state. So we do get some time to ourselves and get to enjoy, the beautiful fall in Maine. And so yeah, we're not all work.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
good for you. Well,
Thanks.
enjoy the fall season.
Thank you very much.
All right, we are going to take a short break and hear from our sponsors, but don't go away because when we come back, Erin Flett is going to pitch. We'll be right back.
Furniture for Greenlight, Maine is provided by Thomas Mosier Furniture, handmade American furniture since 1972.
Reaching new customers online is hard. You've tried Facebook, Google Ads, email. You even built a website 10 years ago. You're way too busy to focus on digital marketing, and you're not getting results.
At Dream Local Digital, that's what we do. We've helped businesses nationwide grow with online marketing. We're the experts. Let us help you.
We're very proud of the product we make and the way that we make it. The most important features of our original dog vest are in its design. Traditional lenders, they steer away from unproven track records.
In you come. Hold up.
CEI gave us the opportunity to build a track record, show that our future path will be more solid than our past.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. Our second company is Erin Flett. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you.
I was in your studio in Westbrook. It was beautiful. Now you guys have moved to Gorham, and you've been written up in Oprah's magazine not once, but twice. What was that about?
Well, the first time it was a game changer because we were actually just started our business in our basement, and it actually transformed it into, we were able to move into a larger space because of it. It just gave me the confidence to move out of my basement, basically.
Awesome. And it was Oprah's Most Beautiful Things? What was it?
Exactly. It was women who make beautiful things. It was a feature. It was a whole page profile, which was obviously a huge deal for us.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to hear more. So whenever you're ready, go for it.
Good morning. My name is Erin Flett, and I'm a textile designer in Maine. I'm passionate about design, American-made, and manufacturing in Maine. It all started with one pillow. I wanted to design something for a friend, and something that I had made for for a piece of art that I wanted to put on a pillow for a friend of mine, and it just ended up being a pillow. And the first time that I saw my patterns on a piece of fabric changed everything. So by day, I was a graphic designer, and by night, I turned into a textile designer. My husband and I learned how to silk screen in our basement, and after 2 years, my little Oprah story, we were featured in Oprah magazine, that full-page spread. And it gave me the confidence to move into the Dana Warp Mill, and the first year, we doubled our business, and I hired my first employee, which is not my husband anymore, who kind of fades into the background, and I hire a silk screener to hand print my goods. So what makes our product really unique and really different is that we actually weave our fabrics in North Carolina. We hand print, sew, and ship everything from our main studio. We now have, this is 7 years in, we now have 12 employees. We have printers, shippers, stitchers that we're employing all over the state of Maine. And we've grown 20 to 30% in the last 7 years, every single year. So this is why I'm here. Today, I want to talk to you about my new opportunity. We've just recently moved into this beautiful historical building in Gorham, Maine, on Main Street, which basically has an amazing retail showroom opportunity and over 2,000 square feet manufacturing space upstairs that was actually a historical theater at one point that's been highly unutilized for probably 30 or 40 years now. So it's completely transformed into this kind of like an Erin Flett hub. Basically, what I want to do now is I've established a wholesale with my clients. The last 7 years have been focusing on wholesale, retail sales, and now I want to focus in more of the design community, where basically we're talking about interior designers, architects, and the hospitality. And because of our flexibility and being able to literally hand print and silk screen on demand, because we only print what sells. So it's a very unique way to do business, but I feel like it's the way we've been sustainable for 10 years now, is we only print what people want. So when we moved into this space, I was like, this is a huge game changer. We can actually bring all these people here, show them what we can do, and we can customize it. And so this new opportunity, we've done a couple little hotels, and then we just shipped a bigger hotel in Catalina Island. So it's really opened my eyes about what the potentials are for growth. And so what I need from you, from Greenlight Maine, is that it's an amazing opportunity, just perfect timing, honestly, because what I need is to hire some more full-time people. I need printers and stitchers, and I need to buy some key equipment to make this sort of big push in manufacturing, because right now what we're doing is it's taking too long to make. We're behind. We're like 4 to 6 weeks out for wholesale, and we're about 2 to 4 weeks out for retail. So the other thing I want to talk about is the new thing is about the community. I want to bring in, because there's a lot of people that still don't even know who I am, even though I've been doing it for 10 years now, is I want to create an internship mentoring program in Gorham where I can actually encourage other artists and designers to create their own art and show them how I've done it as well.
Let's take a couple questions. I bet you the people of Gorham are so happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, question, Brian.
So great presentation. Love the look of your materials. What do you view as like one of your big challenges being American-made, Maine-made?
There's many, many challenges of keeping that integrity of manufacturing in America. The biggest challenge, I think, is sourcing what you want to do, and so you have to be super creative, and obviously the price point. I have to find things that are made in America, and therefore the price is way higher than if people are sourcing from China.
Tom.
So you moved from wholesale, and now you're looking at the industrial side. I mean, how are you going about finding these clients? Because Catalina is obviously a long way from the Portland Harbor Hotel.
Yeah.
How are you going about finding these clients, and what's that process?
Well, a quick answer, because we got to make sure Kent gets a question.
Oh, yeah, quick, yeah. So interesting enough, they've actually found us, and it's been completely organic. And that is my job now, to figure out how to seek out them strategically. And honestly, having no time, because I'm focusing on trying to do the manufacturing and all that type of stuff, I think that's my goal now, is to figure out, okay, how do I get into this realm?
What type of new products or additional products do you envision that would complement your current product offering?
That's a really good question, because we do offer quite a bit. So right now we're working on wallpaper, which is a whole nother demographic for hotel and hospitality. And we're working on more tabletop and yardage, because we've never actually offered yardage. So
awesome. Yep. We need to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear from our judges. Don't go away.
Broadcast facilities are provided by Husson University's NESCOM, the New England School of Communication.
You know, I believe in business today there are too many experts and not enough expertise. I think there are too many promises and not enough follow-through. Those things used to be the norm, but now they're the exception. At Sutherland Weston, we work hard every day to be that exception. We've had 15 years of continuous growth, and I'm proud of that. I think if your business is looking for a creative, responsive, problem-solving partner, if you're looking for the exception, I think we should talk.
We're honored to be Greenlight Maine's CPA firm sponsor. Maine is home to a range of businesses, from startups that you might see on this program to closely held businesses and organizations that operate internationally. ARB's advisors are providing savvy solutions to complex issues for sophisticated and growing businesses of any size across Maine and throughout New England. And we're doing it the way you want Mainers to, guided by our local, sensible values.
When you're marketing your business, it's helpful to know who else is selling the same or even similar products and services. Being aware of what your competition is selling and promoting will help you to differentiate your products and services. That's why having a strong brand and a brand story that resonates with your targeted audiences can help in beating out the competition and making the sale.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. It's time for our judges to deliberate. Let's start with Marcia from Lana Plantae Yarns. What do you think?
Yeah, I thought it was a really interesting company. I love the fact that, you know, it's organic. She's growing her own plants to dye the yarns with. She's growing her own alpacas, raising them. It's a pretty cool business.
It's a great Maine story, isn't it?
It really is, and I think the fact that it's farm sourced, it's sustainable, it really means a lot to the millennial generation especially. So she's got a market for that. So there's really some great potential.
And I think one of the greatest parts of the story is that she's bringing back plant-based dyes. So it's old again and new again. I think a lot of her promotion could almost lead off on that story and then pull the products to the millennial generation that is looking for that kind of thing.
When you think about all, like she calls it, throwaway clothing, and this is something that can be recycled and passed down generation to generation, it really is cool. All right, let's switch gears. Erin Flett, another amazing company that has a really good Maine story too. Everything's hand done. Textiles, hand printed.
Yeah, I loved the passion she had for design and for developing this company here in Maine, making it America made, Maine made, just really incredible.
I think she has a very clear idea of what her brand is, and that brand and how she wants to influence design through her brand. And that's going to allow her to make some great decisions as she scales up the brand.
Yeah, we learn a lot off camera during the breaks, and you guys even get to talk to them for quite a bit. So we learned about how she started this 10 years ago. She's moved into a brand new building, or an old building, I should say, historic building, but she's got a lot more space, and she's working with hotels, so.
She has great design, and she can leverage that off with retail chains.
Absolutely. Yeah, she definitely, it sounds like she can scale. She's ready if she got a huge order.
Yeah, when I think about the two contestants, that's clearly the business that I think is more scalable from an employee and from a sales perspective.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I would think the same thing is that, the yarn business is going to be very good. It's sustainable, but there is a cap of how you can do it because it's one product and how you can build multiple products. And I like that Erin has multiple categories, multiple products, which allows her to expand not just with more customers, but more products.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, I think the idea about the product extensions provides practically unlimited upside potential.
Okay. So if either of these are to make it to the finals, just real quick, what would you like to see if you talk to them again?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we didn't really hear much about from either of them is, what are their sales? What are their sales goals? We heard a little bit about percentage increases. We heard a few references to margins. So it'd be good to get a better sense of both of those things.
Awesome.
Yeah, for me, it's more specifics on the distribution strategy, similar to Brian's point, who they're selling, how they're going to sell them, how they're going to get to them, because they all have multiple channels that they were talking about, but each channel is going to have a different strategy. So really get some clarity on how they're going to go after that.
All right, we get 5 seconds.
As Erin scales, I think she needs to focus on additional organizational support to continue the trend.
Awesome. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, find out who gets the green light. We'll be right back.
In 1972, Tom Moser committed his life's work to craft, and 4 decades later employs 70 fine craftsmen and women in our shop in Auburn, Maine. With showrooms and customers from coast to coast and numerous awards and accolades, Tom has firmly established himself as an entrepreneurial tour de force and has proven that a life doing what you love is indeed possible.
This year's winner of Greenlight Maine will win this handmade Thomas Moser beacon box and $100,000.
Reaching new customers online is hard. You've tried Facebook, Google Ads, email. You even built a website 10 years ago. You're way too busy to focus on digital marketing, and you're not getting results.
At Dream Local Digital, that's what we do. We've helped businesses nationwide grow with online marketing. We're the experts. Let us help you.
Whether you're a small business or a big business, whether you're cutting edge or looking at a traditional industry in a whole new way, whether you're on the coast, in the city, a small town, wherever. If you're an organization here in Maine, if you want to innovate, and if you want to grow, we want to support you. We're the Maine Technology Institute.
Welcome back to Greenlight Maine. We had 2 textile companies with an amazing Maine story, but only one can move on and get the green light. Judges, who's it going to be? Congratulations to Erin Flett. She is today's winner and is moving on in the competition. Well, that's all the time that we have for today. We appreciate your feedback, so please check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and you can see all of our episodes on greenlightmaine.com. We'll see you right back here next week after Meet the Press on News Center Maine. Congratulations, good job. Yeah, come on over.
Greenlight Maine has been brought to you by MTI, the Maine Technology Institute, investing in innovation for a prosperous Maine. Greenlight Maine would not be possible without the support of all of our corporate sponsors. Thank you.
Greenlight Maine has been a paid-for presentation by the Portland Media Group.